In this case lies the first Gretsch that I've ever seen and tried. I got so much to learn from it. The boys had their fun, now it's real man's turn. I'm even wearing long pants for this occasion. Since this is the first Gretsch that I ever demonstrate on my channel, I want to quickly explain the brand lineup. They are separated by 4 quality tiers and 3 build types. First you have the hollow body builds. Then there's the center block build with a block in the center and hollow body around it, and the solid body which has some chambering. Just like the guitar that I'm gonna show you today. More on the body styles a little bit later. For now, let's concentrate on the different tiers and collections. Starting with the Streamliner collection, which is the most affordable. I wouldn't say exactly cheap, but they are reasonably priced for beginners. If you're just getting into guitars or the Gretsch brand, it's a perfect way to start with things like the Streamliner, Junior Jet and others. Next up is the Electromatic collection, which is a step up from the Streamliner. Here we have the double jets in various colors, some cool stuff, some semi-hollow, hollow guitars, cool finishes, generally a lot of choice. The Gretsch website is pretty cool, you can check it out. There are some pretty cool guitars from the Electromatic lineup. The Gretsch that I am reviewing today is part of the Professional collection. These are your high quality Gretches and the last step before you reach the custom shop quality. A lot of cool stuff here, like the Vintage Select 89 Dual Jet, the Vintage Select Sparkle Jet, which is one of the coolest colors that I've seen. Of course, the website features the current lineup of Gretsch guitars. The one that I am reviewing is from 2006, but I've managed to find the original catalog from Gretsch for 2006. I'm gonna include a link to this catalog in the description of my video so you can check it out yourself. There seems to be a little bit of confusion online surrounding the model that I have, so I'm gonna clarify everything using this catalog. People usually mistake it for the Power Jet or the Dual Jet model with the TV Jones pickups. The Power Jet has the Spurzel lock-in tuners, adjust-o-matic bridge, and it's in black. Pretty close, but a lot of different specs, so I can understand the confusion, and now I'm gonna clarify it by showing you the next page of the catalog. We have the Jet Firebird G6131T. It comes with the Grover tuners, the FilterTron pickups instead of the TV Jones, Bigsby and Firebird red color, which also happened to be a new color on the Power Jet this year. Easily recognizable by the Spurzel tuners, adjust-o-matic bridge, TV Jones pickups. Here is our boy here. It is indeed the G6131T Jet Firebird with Bigsby in Firebird red with the sensitive FilterTron pickups, space control bridge and the Bigsby B3C vibrato tailpiece. This is the guitar that I'm reviewing, not to be confused with the Power Jet. The official specs are listed at the end of the catalog. They're a little bit hard to read, but you have a single cutaway chambered body, laminated maple top, mahogany body, mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard, 24.6-inch scale length, 22 frets, Grover stud-tight tuners, high sensitive FilterTron pickups, space control bridge. Bigsby B3C vibrato with chrome hardware. Now I'm gonna show you all of these on the guitar. Wow, just disassembling this thing was an adventure. So much came off of it that this time I've grouped the individual screws for each lid. The Bigsby screws are in this small compartment here, the pickup ring screws and pickup mount screws are here, the pick guard with the bracket and screws, the truss rod cover, everything is neatly separated. Now, a word of advice. I have to clean this guitar. I'm gonna oil the fingerboard, I'm gonna polish the frets, I'm gonna clean the hardware, polish the body. But before I start doing all of that, there's a lot of dust on the guitar. When you got a guitar with a cool finish that you don't want to scratch with the dust, you don't immediately apply the cleaning formula. First, I'm gonna gently dust it off and then I'm gonna start using the cleaning liquid. Because you see, if you use a liquid cleaning formula, you're basically trapping the dust underneath it. Then when you use the microfiber cloth, for example, you're gonna drag it along the surface, creating micro scratches. Not that I'm not creating micro scratches right now, but they're much more subtle. Speaking of scratches on the finish, I see a lot of them on the headstock, probably from string changes over the years. The specs: single cut chambered mahogany body, laminated maple top, single piece set neck made out of mahogany with ebony fingerboard, 24.6-inch scale length, 12-inch radius, 22 frets, mother of pearl, half moon or thumb inlays, and these are the Grover stud-tight tuners. Here's one of the bigger differences: these are not the TV Jones pickups, these are actually the high sensitive FilterTron. Originally this jet had the space control bridge, but on this one is replaced with a Compton stainless steel. Then you got the original B3C Bigsby branded with Gretsch logo. Boy oh boy, a lot going on in the cavities for the pickups. I don't see the neck joint in the neck pickup cavity, but I see a lot of routing here for the pickup. These two cables go to the switches. Some of you probably noticed that these pieces of wood are out of place. They are indeed an aftermarket thought. The previous owner tried to raise the pickup because you see, you cannot adjust the height of a FilterTron pickup the traditional way. That's not how you do it, it's not very durable and it looks bad. A guitar tech will remove these. Moving on with the specs, which say it has a laminated maple top, and just look how thin it is. It is mainly glued to pieces of the construction that are surrounding the pickup area. Here's a better look of the bridge pickup cavity and the routing for the cable. There is a lot of chambering going on under the top, and I'm gonna show it to you a little bit later. A lot of interesting pickup choices for the Gretsch. You have the Full-Tron pickups, the Broad-Tron, the Hilotron, Dynasonic, obviously the TV Jones, but the ones that we have today are the FilterTrons. Look at this cool description. The FilterTron electronic guitar heads, they're calling them guitar heads, not pickups, was introduced in 1957 at the Summer NAMM show in Chicago. They feature dual coils and are designed to filter out the electronic hum normally associated with single coil pickups, while adding a warmer tone and a significant increase in output and sustain. Basically humbuckers with a fancy name. This is what the FilterTron pickups look like, patent number 2192371. You don't move the entire pickup up and down, you adjust the height by the individual poles. This whole thing is a chrome cap soldered on the pickup from the bottom. The base of it mounts to the body through those two holes. The pickup cable neatly tucked under it. The bridge FilterTron is a little bit different. I don't know why the base is not as white as the neck pickup. It has the same chrome cap with the same patent number on it. Here is one mistake. The previous owner tried to adjust the height of the pickup by these two screws, which actually mounted in place. He tried to move the pickup a little bit down by screwing down those two screws, which ended up bending the chrome cap. Due to the design of this chrome cap, when it bends, it opens in the middle. Don't try to adjust the height with the mounting screws. You see, these two are holding the pickup in place, they don't move it up and down. You adjust the individual poles. You have to mount the pickup to the body using a flathead screwdriver before you can put on the pickup rings. They have this cool semi-see-through design that continues with the pickguard. Do not apply too much pressure when you're mounting the pickups in place, or you will end up bending the cap like this. The screws holding the pickups in place are roughly 32 mm long. Don't over tighten the screws on the pickup rings because they might crack as well. Before I start closing it up, let me demonstrate the amount of things on it. You got the truss rod cover, the pickguard, the electronics cover, the 2 switches cover, the master volume cover. Then you got the bridge and the Bigsby. A lot of things to come up from this jet. Let's measure the FilterTron pickups. The bridge FilterTron measures at 482, which is kind of a surprise for me because these feel like a lot taller pickups, like around the 8. Switching over with the 3-way switch to the neck, 411. Both pickups, man, that is soft, 223. A quick showcase of the volume pods. This is the bridge pickup volume, this is the neck pickup volume, and this is the master volume. I've already explained what the controls do, but look at these beautiful knurled chrome metal knobs. They have the G from the Gretsch logo on top and an arrow pointing at the value. They are held in place by a screw that mounts to the pod. You need a small flathead screwdriver. Like everything else, the bridge and tailpiece situation is a bit weird. This is not the original bridge, the original is a space control. This is a Compton bridge and I'm gonna bring the specs on screen. These are specially made out of stainless steel for the Gretches. Here's the official website for Compton bridges. They're American made and the one that we have is stainless steel. What do they say? Our stainless steel custom bridge delivers a good clean tone and sustain for rock and rockabilly. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. You can find them on the website under guitar bridges, then you select stainless bridge and you have some specs. Compton says that these are suitable for Gretsch, Gibson, Guild, Fender and most other guitars with post spacing of 73.66 mm. They are pretty heavy too. One of the changes that the previous owner did is to screw down the bridge using those 2 screws. According to him, it was free floating, which is a bit weird to me because this would change the scale and he said it was moving back and forward. And I can understand that this can be a bitch when you're changing strings. I'm still not 100% sure that this is the case, but the guy who did it didn't center the screws pretty well and it looks like a bad job. This is what the stainless steel Compton bridge looks like, just one solid piece of metal notched for the individual strings, and these are the struts that it mounts on. The Jet comes equipped with a Bigsby B3C Chrome with the Gretsch logo. Apparently they had been using them since the 50s. This Bigsby has been modified a little bit. The back says patent number D169120. The owner told me that he had to modify the Bigsby because he was having a hard time restringing it. You see, there are these small poles that the string bow catches on. And if you don't use the proper technique for restringing, the bow ends will come off from the poles every time. The solution, drill it and the strings go directly through. Here's a better look at the handle mechanism, the spring, and if I turn it around, on bottom you'll see this soft cushioning material that protects the top of the guitar. The Bigsby stays in place using 3 screws and one on the strap button, which is actually knurled metal, like the control knobs on the guitar. It matches them. There is a ground wire coming from the electronics going through 2 of the screw holes of the Bigsby, making contact with the Bigsby. I'm not gonna put back the Bigsby in its place just yet because I don't want it floating around messing up stuff. Let's use this opportunity to weigh the bridge and the Bigsby. This is the Compton bridge made out of stainless steel. It's pretty heavy. Yep, 78 grams. This is 20 grams heavier than a Tone Pro Schaller to pneumatic bridge. It is a big chunk of stainless steel after all. No individual saddles shouldn't be light. Gretsch owners praise these for the sustain. The Bigsby is a big boy, so I'm expecting, well, 270 grams. That's not too bad actually. The Jet comes with this black Gretsch branded pickguard held in place by a bracket. And it's incredibly cool. Like everything else on this guitar, it's unique. You might think it's one solid plastic black piece with the Gretsch logo on top of it, but it's actually a see-through material with a thin black film on the bottom, and the Gretsch logo has been pressed in it from the bottom. So it is 3D in the see-through material with the black film on the bottom. This is easily the coolest pickguard that I've seen on a guitar. The body has this single cut shape resembling the Les Paul, of course. The top is bound by 3-piece binding, thin white on the inner side, black, then a thicker white piece. Black, white and red is a gorgeous combination. I know that it resembles a Les Paul, but the construction is actually quite different. Look how raised the fingerboard is from the body. The neck connects to the body at a certain angle, that's why the pickups are raised and you cannot adjust them down. Their position is calculated to match the one of the fingerboard and the bridge. You know what, let's put it side by side with the Les Paul Custom to compare. Pay attention to the neck joint, fingerboard position, pickups and bridge on the Les Paul Custom. Now look at the Gretsch. These are incredibly different. It's amazing how they can be so different in construction and yet feel so similar when you're playing them. Here's a look of the headstock angles just for the hell of it. These two solid body shapes were roughly introduced at the same time, 52-53. It's amazing how different they are and yet how similar they feel. While we are at it, let's see if a Gretsch will fit the Les Paul case and how much bigger it is. Nope, this horn is much bigger, the body is overall bigger, the lower horn as well. It doesn't fit in the Les Paul case. The Jet has a set neck construction, but unlike the Les Paul Custom, you see how raised the fingerboard is above the body. There is white binding with black side dot inlays around the ebony fingerboard. Speaking of the fingerboard, it's time for a story. The story of ebony. This gorgeous black ebony with mother of pearl half moon inlays. Like everything else on the Gretsch, it's special and it has a presentation card. Introducing the new Gretsch Neo Classic Fingerboard. Conservative beauty, classic fidelity, satin ebony feel, classical touch. Centuries ago, when string instruments were first built, the early craftsmen discovered that pure ebony offered the best basic board for perfect playing performance, and that discovery stands to this day. As time passed, men decided to decorate these fine playing boards with fancy pearl inlays, which were beautiful but in no way helped the playing performance of the board. It destroyed the wonderful feel only pure satin ebony could give. It is with these proven facts in mind that we introduce the new Gretsch Neo Classic Fingerboard. The finest in playing performance and sheer beauty. The beautiful inlay mother of pearl half moons on the bass side of the board are perfect position markers and do not in any way detract from the classic feel, which is so essential to perfect performance. I have to agree with them, I love ebony. They are talking about these mother of pearl thumb or half moon inlays. You see they are positioned in such a way that you are not in contact with them, especially when playing on the higher frets. You don't need huge block inlays to see where you are on the board, which is a bit ironic because the first dual Jets used to have these huge block inlays. I must note that some of them have instrument marks from installing, but they are not that bad. That was a cool presentation of an ebony fingerboard. 22 frets, these are in okay condition, it's a 2006 guitar, has been played, has some marks on them. It is what they call normal signs of wear. The nut, I'm not sure it's the original and it has to be glued in place, probably replaced and they didn't do a good job of it. This Gretsch is gonna go to a professional tech, he's gonna glue the nut, he's gonna remove the stupid pieces of wood underneath the pickups and he's gonna fix some other things overall. The headstock has white binding and this cool Gretsch mother of pearl T-roof logo, which was first seen on a Jet in '54. Grover stud-tight tuners. The truss rod looks like a one-way Gibson style of truss rod. It is covered by this huge piece of plastic, white on the bottom, black gloss on the top, held in place by 3 screws. It's pretty big compared to the rest of the headstock. The nut is 43.3mm wide or 1.70 inch, and yes, I'm holding it in place. The 12th fret is at 53mm or 2.08 inches. Thickness at the first fret, pretty slim, 20.7mm or 0.81 inch. Thickness at the 12th fret, 23.4mm or 0.92 inch. Let's measure the body thickness. It is 47mm or 1.85 inch, but keep in mind that this is arc top. The scale is a bit shorter than the Gibson one, 624mm or 24.6 inches. The fingerboard radius, a comfortable 12 inch, 305mm. No wonder this neck is pretty comfortable to me. Ebony fingerboard with that radius, that scale, and if it has a C profile, it is a dream for me. It resembles the Les Paul Custom. And yep, C-shaped neck profile. Nicely rounded, feels pretty close to the Les Paul Custom 60 style necks. The back is just as busy as the front, that's what she said. Just look at all the cavities for the two switches, for the master volume, for the electronics. When Gretsch listed in the specs that this is a chambered body, they were not kidding. This entire thing, starting from the cavity of the three-way switch, is chambered through the top horn, here to the electronics, reaching all the way to the master volume cavity. It is all one big chamber, and to better demonstrate it, I'm gonna show it to you from the official Gretsch website. Here's a look at the different types of builds as I promised earlier. This is the hollow body, which is self-explanatory. Then we have the center block, which has a huge piece of wood in the center and then a hollow body around it. And here's the solid body with chambering. There is a lot of chambering going on. Remember what I told you? Here is the three-way switch. Goes all the way to the electronics in the back, some underneath the pickups and the bridge, the electronics and the master switch. It is one big chamber. Starting with the three-way switch compartment, this one is the three-way switch that changes the pickups, and this is the tone selector. It has a couple of capacitors rigged to it. Here's the master volume routing, which is a bit of a funny situation. This is a CTS pot, but you see they had all this chambering and they left you this little opening for the pot. Not that you're gonna put it from the top, but nah, we're giving you this narrow access to the master volume pot. We cannot cut any additional wood. Here are the electronic compartments on better light, the switches, the master volume, and this one houses most of the electronics. These are the two volume pots, CTS both of them, neck volume, bridge volume. There's a label like you see on a lot of hollow body guitars, the Gretsch logo, the model and the serial number. There are a lot of connection lines on the back. It's a bit confusing, I'm not gonna guess how many pieces. I'm not a huge fan of the output jack because I cannot use an angled plug, but it's another traditional piece. They are calling it electro socket output jack. You've probably noticed that this has a triangular shape like most models because they usually have an additional tone pot in here with the two volumes in this position. So if you're not a fan of the three-way switching, you can put additional tone here. Two strap buttons. This is knurled metal, as I already mentioned. It goes through the Bigsby. One more on the front horn here. I love the fact that they've bound the heel of the neck joint. It looks so classy, like a tuxedo. Same color like the body binding, and since this is a set neck, the body binding stops at the heel of the neck joint, here and here. Gloss finish on the back of the neck and the stinger near the headstock. Back of the headstock, traditional Gretsch shape, and these are the Grover stud-tight tuners, open back. They look pretty classy on here. The professional series are made in Japan, the serial number JT standing for Jet 06 2006. Here's a better look of the Grover stud-tight out of the headstock. Here's a look of the headstock without the Grover tuner, held in place by two screws, and there's a metal insert on the top side. Be careful not to lose these, they fall off when you're stringing. Let's close it up. This is the cover for the electronics compartment, white on the bottom, gloss black on the top. This is the cover for the three-way switches, same thing, black and white. And this is the cover for the master volume. Looks like a three-way switch cover. You gotta appreciate the Japanese craftsmanship. The lid, whichever way you point it, it fits and the holes fit. When you're installing the pickguard back on, be sure to fit the bracket between the nut and this white spacer. Remember what I told you, it is a see-through pickguard and the back is like a black film. If you scratch the back, it might be visible from the front. 946 D'Addario in E standard will do for now. I love the way that the bow ends on the D'Addario, they are colorful, look installed on the Bigsby. Restringing it should be easy enough with all the modifications, the screws, the holes in the Bigsby. When dealing with bridges like this, I like to start with the first and the sixth string just to balance things out. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the way the stud-tight Grovers feel and tune. Now that I've seen all the chambering, I'm not at all surprised that the Jet is that light. 738 pounds, almost as light as an HG Gibson. Listen to this. Oh boy, here we go again. Nah, I'm kidding, I'll leave that to the guitar tech. This is the original hard shell case that the guitar came with. It has arch top, black Tolex. EAO-ish stitching that goes with the gold hardware. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 latches. Has this cool Gretsch logo, gold plate, black lettering, and this latch is the locking one. Crappy plastic handle, but it's okay. Let's open it up to see how the Gretsch fits. I'm not... I swear to God, that was not intentional. I'm not turning into All England. So the Bigsby doesn't fit too well in the case, even though that it looks specially tailored for the Jet. Here's what the case looks like without the Gretsch in it, and to give you some perspective, let's put the Les Paul Custom in it. See just how big the case is. Bit wobbly, a lot of space to work with inside. Let's talk about the case candy, or more particularly the documentation, and there's a lot of it for the Jet. Comes in this big A4 envelope and it almost says top secret on it. That is a lot of literature and I'm gonna go through most of it. Most of the information is already available on the official website, but it's kind of cool to have it included on paper, and this particular paper is like an old style aged paper from the 50s, this thick cardboard style paper. Looks old and authentic, it's cool. I love it when manufacturers include stuff like this. It's not very common in Japanese made guitars. For example, if you buy a custom shop ESP, you get like an A4 certificate and that's it. So it's pretty cool to have these with some interesting information, with some cool graphics. They should be included with most expensive guitars. First of all, you have the Gretsch guitar guide. This is your main guide. It's huge, so I'm just gonna show you the table of contents. You got the Gretsch limited lifetime warranty, then some sort of a certificate that doubles as a warranty with the model number and serial number. Gretsch space control bridge information. This was the original bridge as included in the website. Space control. Pretty weird and gets in the way of palm muting, so the owner replaced it. Some cool information about the Gretsch FilterTron pickups. I love how they call them guitar heads and not pickups. This information is also available on the website. Pause at any time and read it. I already showed you the fingerboard info. It's pretty cool. I always want to read these cards like a 50s presenter. Gretsch, the OK card. A lot of cool and interesting info that probably most of the owners never read, they just keep in the case. I like it when you buy a second-hand guitar and these are included and in good condition. Paper outlasts websites. Allow me to explain what you're gonna be seeing when I'm playing. None of these is a tone pot. This is the master volume, this is the neck volume, this is the bridge volume. This is the three-way switch, switching between the two pickups, and this is the master tone selector. Let me explain how the master tone selector works. When it's in the position facing the exterior of the body, that's called the deeper position with more low end. The center or middle position is supposed to be bypass. They say it's tone 0, but this is wrong. It shouldn't be tone 0. It should be bypass, because tone 0 means tone all the way down. Center position, you have the pickup sound without the master switch. When the three-way switch is facing down towards the pickup, you have the shallow setting with more high end, but with the tone switch still present. Basically you have three settings: deep, shallow and bypass. I'm playing through the clean channel because it's more audible this way. So, first time trying out the Gretsch, and what a start. Man, I love this thing. I love the Jet Firebird. As a Les Paul player, the body shape feels comfortable to me, the controls layout is okay, the neck feels like home. I love the Bigsby, I love the pickups. These FilterTrons, even though they are at 4K or something like that, they feel like much holler pickups. Palm muting on them feels great thanks to the Compton replacement bridge. I don't think I have a single complaint about these besides the tuners. The big question is, will the Jet replace the Les Paul Custom as a favorite in my heart? Not just yet. I wanna try some custom shop stuff eventually, hopefully, from Gretsch. I would like to also try the Electromatic and Streamliner series. I'm glad I had the chance to try the professional series Jet Firebird and in this beautiful red Firebird finish. I'm absolutely hooked. I wanna try some more Gretches. Hand them over.